Farza was right. Ideas are overrated. I haven't started working on my idea, and it's week 2 at buildspace.
I needed to change the scenery, so let's go to WeWork.
It is hot. I'm on my way to WeWork, and yeah, let's get to it.
A few weeks ago, I met a couple of people at CoinFlip, which is a crypto experience center, through this Web3 meetup. So I joined them, and a lot of people there, they do co-working, they do remotely, and someone mentioned WeWork, and I was like, you know what? I pass it all the time, so I might as well go and check it out. And I needed me a change of scenery because I was getting kind of tired of being cooped up in my apartment. So I finally went up to WeWork, and I was like, okay, let's check this out. So apparently companies now are requiring people to go back into the office, which is going to be pretty hard because a lot of people are now privy to remote work, and co-working spaces are literally a great thing to do. WeWork is a company that operates throughout the world. I think you pay a membership fee and you can access all of the locations that they have throughout the world, which is honestly great for a digital nomad because you need somewhere to work. And it's great to be around the same energy of just working on a project, working on an idea, rather than just being at home. And you can potentially make connections. Yes, even as an introvert, even though I didn't really make connections, but I was able to find a stall. So I was like, yay.
So here I am at WeWork. Sorry, that was a guy in a thing next to me. It's a nice little working spot. It kind of reminds me of the co-working space that I utilized in Miami when I went to Miami Hack Week, and that was really cool. I really liked it a lot. So, because I needed a change of scenery instead of just being at home. But sometimes, as a creative, you're gonna need some change of scenery to start getting a little juices. And
on my way going to WeWork, I was really thinking to myself, I was like, do you really want to do a whole YouTube series and try to post videos every day? That's too much. And one thing about me, I'm not trying to do too much. I'd rather work smart, not hard. In typical YouTube fashion, you put out videos and then you iterate based on analytics, but I only have a couple of videos up, and based on my analytics, I'm not keeping people on my videos. So I already put out the idea because we were told to put our idea out into the public, and I put it out on Twitter, X, LinkedIn, and also made a reel on Instagram. And a couple of people, they actually liked it, even though I've been slowly putting this idea out into public to kind of brand myself hey, I like anime and I like technology. So now I wasn't getting much attention online, and I saw the trend of what actually gets people to comment on an idea, even from buildspace themselves. But I was like, a few people like the idea. My mom liked the idea. That's all that really matters. Plus, someone pointed out that what I'm doing is kind of like what The Simpsons doing with predicting the future. So I was like, okay, you kind of get it.
And now you're on my computer. So the anime that I'm going to be using for this first episode to explain the correlations that I see between Web3, AI, and UX is Psycho-Pass. Psycho-Pass was the anime that I instantly thought of when I started my journey as a UX designer and in blockchain, because Psycho-Pass is the anime that just stuck to me from when I was younger.
Complex ideas can be abstract and difficult to grasp, especially with blockchain. That's why anime is the perfect media to explain. I first got introduced to anime by watching Studio Ghibli movies. Princess Mononoke, to be exact. And after that, I was binge watching everything I could find. Shout out to my anime club in high school. So Psycho-Pass is set in the futuristic Japan, governed by this computer network that uses semantic scanning to scan the mentalities of each citizen. There's this gun that assesses if you should be euthanized or not. So here's a little recap of the first episode.
The lady that they were told to go and pretty much kill, she was sexually assaulted. And so because of her mental stability, that pretty much meant that she was supposed to get euthanized. But this girl right here, she put two together and was like, hey, like, we should probably calm her down. And I believe that they ended up calming her down and they didn't need to kill her. I can see some correlations with like our data being on a blockchain, because all of your data and facial recognition scans are open to the public and things like that, as well as like the government having access to it. So it's interesting. I decided to choose psychopaths, and that's what we're going to go with, and that's what we're going to be working on figuring out for the next 5 weeks.
Now, I have professors tell me that Wikipedia is not a great source, but I've always used Wikipedia as a starting point because, hello. Now, there's always a section about the themes and analysis of each anime, and that's one of the reasons why I like Japanese culture, because there's always a deeper meaning behind the media that they produce. And one of the reasons why I like anime rather than like American cartoons, because there's always some type of message that's being put out. So usually I read this, but because I have ChatGPT, I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to read it, but let's kind of see what ChatGPT is going to do with this information. Now, I've been training this bot for a while, just ideating and going back and forth and brainstorming about the creation of my channel and also the type of content that I want to create. So I just pretty much copy and pasted the themes and analysis portion from Wikipedia, and it gave me some things that I was able to look at. But I wasn't really getting the results that I was looking for. So by this point, I was like, okay, more research, which is something that I knew I was going to have to do, but this is a great starting point for my research. I also came across a Rolling Stone article about the risks of AI, so I'm going to include that too.
Ideas can come and go. We get ideas every day, but it's the executing part that's the hard part, because it can take years for the execution to formulate the idea. An idea starts with one shape, but it can take multiple shapes.
I actually talked about this before the first lecture and posted my thoughts on the Twitter thread. You guys should check it out.
And we don't know what that idea would turn into, but the only way for us to know is to just try it out and try to figure it out. And that's why I'm so grateful for where AI tools are at today, because it has really skyrocketed my productivity in terms of brainstorming and the design process and things like that.
That's why my favorite thing to do is just go back and forth with the bot.
And it spit out some themes that I could talk about, and then also asked it, okay, how can this stuff really relate to my channel? And it gave me that, because not only am I creating the content, I'm learning at the same time. So what I need to do next, obviously, is to go back and rewatch Psychopaths. I already know I can get that done and out the way. But this time, since I'm researching, it's going to be a lot more fun, because then now I'm actually intentionally watching it and trying to get some things that I can point out and go from there and just shaping this idea so that by the end of this, I have a script and a video to go with it. Like I told you before, blockchain is not as scary as it seems. Wherever this idea shapes out to, hey, it is what it is. I'm Aaliyah, and you're now experiencing Apeair Creative. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to continue watching my journey. And it's only up from here. We can only learn and fall as we learn and pick ourselves back up.